Hey, this is Terry Funk, and this is the Awesome Wrestling Show. You guys tune in, listen, pay attention.
Produced by the Cleveland Sound Radio Network. Here is the This Is Awesome Wrestling Show, hosted by Glenn Moore and Steve Guy.
This is Awesome Wrestling Show here on CLDSound.com, and also This Is AwesomeWrestlingShow.com. Go to our website. All the shows are there, interviews, everything you need for This Is Awesome Wrestling Show. And the number one trending page or post we have on the site right now is the post I put up with Hulk Hogan talking about his penis. It's a video of his testimony. And basically, if you don't know what's going on, we're going to give you the 411 on it because a lot of funny stuff is coming from this. It's Terry Bollea / Hulk Hogan. We don't know which one's on the stand because he seems to swerve in and out. But we're talking about that. I'm Glenn Moore, joined here by Steve Guy. AIW was this past week, and we'll talk about that. We're going to talk about Roadblock coming up. We're talking about what happened on Raw. WrestleMania 33 in 2017. Location is revealed. We'll talk about that. But first, Hulk Hogan / Terry Bollea. The trial for his lawsuit, $100 million against Gawker, which is a website. Basically, it's like Deadspin, but for more newsy stuff. They are being sued by Hogan, Terry Bollea, for $100 million for posting the sex tape that came out a few, 4 years ago, of Hulk Hogan with Heather Clem. No relation to
Chris Clem.
Yeah, no relation to our buddy Chris. Bubba the Love Sponge's ex-wife, was wife at the time. Hogan had sex with her, and it was videotaped. And now it's out, and it was out there on the internet. Now you can view it on any kind of your porn website of choice. So Hogan's suing. So last couple of days, I keep saying Hogan because it's not Hogan. It's Terry Bollea.
It's not. You know what? It just hit me as you were saying it, and I was like, man, what does this remind me of? Have you ever watched? There's a new show on Fox called The Grinder.
I have not.
It's Rob Lowe and Fred Savage.
Okay.
And the basis of this is that Fred Savage is a lawyer, and his brother played a lawyer on TV, which is Rob Lowe.
Okay.
And the show ended or whatever. Rob Lowe left the show, and he moved back to Idaho where his dad and his brother have their law firm. And he basically, sits in on everything with them, but he weaves in and out of character. Like, his mindset is so stuck in, am I the person I am, or am I the Grinder character from the show? And the way he goes in and out of it when you watch this comedy reminds me of this whole trial with Hulk Hogan. Be like, oh, that's when I was Terry, brother.
Yeah.
But when I walk out of the house, I'm Hulk Hogan, dude.
Yeah. There's a lot of different things because he's under oath because anything they ask him pertaining,
no pun intended.
Yeah, pertaining to anything with his career, with what happened with the sex tape. He's under oath, so he can lie, but he's going to be...
He's not coming off that rope for a leg drop either.
Right. Jesus. So he has been... testimony ended today on a Tuesday. Yesterday was a few hours. Today was a few hours. So there's a lot of video to go over. I was lucky enough to catch the live stream of it as it was happening. And nothing really juicy yesterday other than he was... devastated and embarrassed, and
yesterday was when he said his hands were shaking and trembling when he found out that they'd never done that before, except in every match in his career ever.
Except when The Rock was throwing some punches at him.
Yeah.
And then yesterday they established his career, and they were basically establishing the Hulk Hogan character. So today he was cross-examined by the defense, and they were trying to establish in interviews with the media and major, Howard Stern TV shows, and trying to establish who was Terry Bollea and who was Hulk Hogan. And it seems like Hulk Hogan has no problem giving his penis size, alleged penis size, and being open with farting on a toilet, and that being shown on TV, but no sex tape. So there was a clip of an interview he did in Bubba's This Love Sponge over the phone about him mentioning that his penis was 10 inches long. Somehow the conversation got to actually confirming is his penis 10 inches long. And here's a clip of Terry Bollea's retort.
Let me ask you this. Just let's see if we can simplify this. Do you have any doubt as you sit in that witness stand today that you were discussing the length of your penis on Bubba's radio program? Any doubt?
Well, it's not mine, because mine isn't that size, but we were discussing the length of Hulk Hogan's.
Seriously? You
No, seriously, I do not have a 10-inch penis. No, I do not.
Okay,
Seriously.
fair enough. So what you're telling us is you were discussing
Believe that,
Hulk Hogan's
seriously.
penis, right?
Excuse me?
You were discussing Hulk Hogan's penis.
Yeah, because Terry Bollea's penis is not 10 inches like you're trying to say.
All right.
So he says that Hulk Hogan's penis is 10 inches long, but Terry Bollea's is not 10 inches long.
He really is the Hulk.
He's really hulking up.
It's like,
He's larger
that's
than
why
life.
he has to shred. So when he used to come to the ring and he used to shred his shirt, what you were seeing there was Terry Bollea turning into Hulk Hogan,
Yeah.
a la Bruce Banner turning into the Incredible Hulk.
I don't. It's funny because obviously there's a character, and I know that he plays a character in interviews, but I mean, he mentioned yesterday that he has, body slam Moby Dick and fought tigers. Like he mentioned that. Like there's all.
And he said he's done that. Yeah.
It's all fiction. It's all part of the character. But it seems like
To quote Thunder Lips, that's the name of the
game.
game.
Yeah, they talk about that too. So Hulk Hogan is a very open guy. The character is very open. He's nothing
to
is
hide.
off limits.
Yeah.
But Terry is, he's quiet. He
24-inch pythons and a 10-inch penis.
Terry doesn't have a 10-inch penis. He's very quiet. He's very sensitive about his hair, which is why he wears a
very sensitive
bandana
about the
all the time.
balding.
But when he's Hulk Hogan, he doesn't care. He ripped that bad boy off and threw it away. But when he's Terry though, Terry is very, very quiet. He does, he's very, he's not the Hulkster. It's weird to hear that. And the defense is trying to establish, what's going on with that and how can Hulk Hogan be offended and also Terry, but Hogan has no problem being so open with his life. It's very confusing, and that's a lot of money, $100 million.
That is a lot.
That would put Gawker out of business, basically.
Absolutely. They even had said, it was the president or CEO, whatever it was, somebody in Gawker had said that they do not have $100 million to just give if they were to lose this. But, a jury can decide you're not going to get the full 100, but you're going to get this. And I had read that, Hogan's team kind of wanted to see how the Erin Andrews action played out to use that as a precedent. But I would think that once you've already seen that she got $50 million, her situation, at least to me, and if I was a juror, is way worse than his, because he had already previously admitted to adultery or whatever, and that's not what was happening here. This was coming in after a divorce, whatever. But this was his friend, and he's, he knows how Hogan obviously, or Terry knows he's having sex.
Yeah.
It's just that this is being videotaped.
Yeah.
Erin Andrews isn't doing anything salacious except getting dressed or whatever the heck she's doing, putting makeup on or something. And this dude went through a peephole and is videotaping her.
Yeah.
Much larger invasion of privacy. You walk into a grown man's house and he hands you a condom to go bang his wife. I mean, you should be a little suspicious.
Exactly.
What is crazy is that it didn't come out until like 4 years after it even happened.
Yeah, it was when Bubba turns off he actually did change his name to Bubba.
Yeah, to Bubba. Bubba the Love Sponge.
He says this is our retirement.
Yeah.
So I mean, he had the intention of doing this sometime. And Heather Clem, is divorced from Bubba. They're not together anymore. Hogan and I think Bubba have settled out of court. He apologized. They're not friends, but he's apologized publicly. He, had to give some money to Hogan. But, yeah, man, $100 million is a lot of money, and that's a lot.
There is no doubt that this videotape between having the sex on there and the N-word tarnished the image and legacy of Hulk Hogan / Terry Bollea.
Now,
and his opportunity to maybe make money in the future with WWE, right?
Does him being racist in this video, is it the same video as the sex tape?
Same thing.
So is he? So in that,
that's where this kind of came about.
Okay, so that clip of him. So is this whole sex tape, the video that's out there that we haven't seen, is it just in the bedroom?
Yeah.
Okay, and he talks about the M-word in the bedroom?
Yeah. So like how you alluded to, like his phone going off.
Yeah.
It was Brooke.
So he
ringer.
mentions.
He talks about.
Oh, okay.
That's what he talks about.
Nothing like a good foreplay
Brooke
talking
and,
about that.
And she's. I think it's after.
Okay.
I'm not sure. Maybe it's before. I don't remember. But
okay.
Yeah. So within that moment, everything. That's when Brooke comes up in the conversation, and she's dating a NBA or I don't know some basketball player. And, yeah.
So, really quick before we get off this, no pun intended. The defense wants to put the actual full video into evidence, part of the case. If that happens and the judge allows it, it's public domain. It's part of a court case. And it could be out there for anybody to view for free
after X amount of time. Yeah,
right. So it'll be out there. So that will open up because the full however minutes it is going to be out there. Now that includes Hogan with the racist comments.
Yeah,
it'll all be out there for the view. It'll be on YouTube. It's going to be all over the place, and Hogan had nothing to do about it. So it's going to be this thing will be play out for probably the rest of the month. So
which this should kind of tie in, right? Because at this point. There's no holding back. Like you can't. Now this has to be entered into the court case, so it's like this is going to ruin you even further. I guess. Yeah, maybe you should get some money out of it.
Oh yeah.
As opposed to Erin Andrews, where they try to make the argument that actually helped her career. Like her argument was that ruined her career, and then the defense's argument was that her career has blossomed since this happened. Not necessarily because of it, but just has. So it obviously didn't ruin her career. This is pretty much threatened.
Yeah.
The Hulkster trying to make money in the future.
$100 million. He basically got fired from this video because from WB for the racist comment.
Yeah.
I'm sure him being in the sex tape has altered some kind of, deals with other people,
sure.
Side deals with companies maybe. So, hey, and he wants, I think half of it is for pain and suffering. So, we all know Hulk is very sensitive. He's a very sensitive guy.
He is.
So.
By a lot of vitamins.
Yeah. So that's going to be going on. We'll talk about that when big stuff happens with that, but that was pretty funny. And you can check out the article on our website. This is awesomewrestlingshow.com. The video is there of Hulk Hogan talking about his penis. So it's on our website. Steve, you were at AIW this past week, and really quick, give me a 1-minute recap.
Excellent show. The venue was interesting. It was at a bar out in Minnesota on the Lake. So that had its own little vibe. There were definitely some people who were overly intoxicated. But in terms of the performance inside the ring, I thought they did a great job. The one match that stands out is six-man scramble, which was 6 of the students, and including Britt Baker being the only female in it. Your boy DCR was in that match. I think that one kind of stole the show. It really did. Spud and Rex Brody at the end was good, but this six-man scramble, I'll tell you what, these kids did such a great job that when the match was over and they're clearing the ring, the entire crowd gave them a standing ovation and started chanting, "That was awesome" for them. I was like, man, that just shows you, for people, how many drunk people were there or whatever the case, but real wrestling fans, they grabbed the attention of everybody in that match, and I can't say enough about it. What a phenomenal job they did. Josh Sings in that, Alex Daniels in there. Apologize, I forget the other two, but they did a great job. Eddie Kingston, your boy Jerry, have a match.
Who won?
Jerry won because Eddie Kingston was distracted.
Yeah.
Somebody came out from the back to distract Eddie Kingston.
Who was it?
The Prince of Broadway.
No.
Frankie Flynn.
Are you serious?
Comes out from behind the curtain, distracts Eddie Kingston, and Jerry rolls him up for the win. So Frankie is back to get his revenge on Eddie after the beatdown from Fresh Meat.
Did they play the music and everything, too?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm down with that.
So,
My boy Eddie.
So Frankie's going after Eddie Kingston,
right.
which will be great. And Ethan Page had a match he had an open challenge, and the Space Monkey made his return.
Oh yeah,
that was another match that kind of stole the show. That was pretty good.
We talked about the photo Ethan posted. He looks jacked.
Yeah, he's looking good. He's on a clean eating situation right now.
Yeah.
I got to go to eat afterwards with a lot of those guys, with Eddie, and Homicide was there. I should say Homicide's match with Tim Donst was great, and at that point, of course, they announced Homicide will be back for the J-Lit tournament in May, so that's exciting there.
So there you go.
But it was good. But AIW really, aside from not just their event on Saturday, kind of stole the show the night before at NXT.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I gathered reports from multiple people, because I knew a few folks were going, and you and I could not attend. Johnny Gargano comes out immediately. There's a thunderous ovation and a constant Johnny Wrestling chant for a minute or two, you know, before they even bring out their opponents, which was awesome. And then during the course of the match, you have however many people there and a crowd erupting in AI dub chants that were just filling the Agora. And I think they're probably Johnny Gargano and AIW probably the big winners coming out of the NXT show, which from all accounts also was pretty entertaining.
Yeah,
but
so that's good.
Not the names, as we've talked about before. The names we've always wondered how can NXT continue on, and you know the names aren't as big.
Yeah.
So I think for them having Johnny there really helped out, but you don't have a Johnny Gargano Cleveland relationship obviously in every city you go to.
Yeah.
So that did make me think, what does happen there?
Yeah.
What's your exciting moment there?
Yeah. I mean, is it going to be a warrant enough for them to come back to Cleveland in 2 months like they did last time? Probably not.
Yeah.
So it's going to take, we talked about this in the shows, it's going to take a couple of years for them to refill the roster with some guys that are going to be, star-studded for NXT. Now you have some guys that they're trying to develop. They have, Samoa Joe, obviously, and some guys that are, staples. But it's going to be interesting to see how they refill the roster in the next year or so when, Finn makes his roster debut and the Bullet Club is up on the main roster and Joe might go up there. A guy that we're talking about.
A guy like Apollo Crews will probably go up to the main roster.
We're talking about Sami Zayn. We'll talk about him in the after our interview. Oh, Tyson Dux, Part 2. Didn't mention that. Tyson Dux, Part 2 is our interview for this week. You already know. Listen to Part 1. Part 2 is this week. We'll get to him shortly. But Sami Zayn, we'll talk about that after the break, making his return. But he still rests. I'm sure NXT, his last match will be against Nakamura at Dallas during WrestleMania weekend. So, we got to refill the roster. Refill the roster when it comes to NXT. Speaking of NXT in Orlando, it was announced today, and it was hinted, months ago, but Orlando will host WrestleMania 33 in 2017. The big news is that WWE will also build a Hall of Fame / restaurant, and that will be in Orlando as well. It's going to be at Universal Studios, and it will be a WB-themed restaurant, and they'll have a Hall of Fame, a physical Hall of Fame with it. We all know how WWF New York, the world, tanked.
It so well.
It is the second worst business decision of Vince's career, right behind the XFL. Lost a ton of money, millions of dollars with the world in New York. But, hey, it's going to be built in time for WrestleMania 33. Hey, I'm all down for going to a restaurant themed with WWF stuff.
Being at Universal Studios will help.
Yeah.
Because it's just an attraction at an attraction.
Yeah, a lot of foot traffic.
Yeah, exactly. People are going to, we're going to go to eat here. Well, hey, kids, let's go to the WWE
Let's go have a
place.
Ryback sandwich. Or a Vince steak wrap.
What? Or
a Daniel Bryan Cobb salad.
Would the Ryback sandwich have to be like a McRib? It'd be a McRyback or something. I don't know. That's the closest thing I could think of. I don't know.
We're going to spend a show just coming up
with the menu.
Or you could have some of the mystery meat.
Oh, that was a stretch right there. Wow.
Yeah, we'll dedicate a show just to all of your ideas and ours.
The Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella portion of the menus for vegans.
Vegans only. Daniel Bryan actually eats meat now, so
that's right.
He has
does.
to eat meat.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not anymore, but yeah.
Or the organic portion of the menu, then will be them. All organic.
I'm sure we'll come up with a lot of.
Will they have all of Stone Cold Steve Austin's beers there?
That's a good question too. I'm sure. Hey, why not?
Yeah, absolutely.
Some
Why
JR's barbecue sauce.
not? Yeah.
Something like JR. I don't think that would happen, but hey, yeah.
Jerry Lawler's gonna have to have like Memphis rub ribs or something.
Jerry Lawler is opening up his own restaurant. His own restaurant / Hall
in
of
Memphis,
Fame,
right?
Yeah, on Beale Street. He just announced it, and he's gonna be opening. So it's like a Jerry Lawler Hall of Fame / restaurant.
Yeah,
for Memphis on Beale Street. That's gonna be great.
The Big Show Challenge is like the largest portion of meat you have to sit there and eat.
The
big burger,
Mark Henry burger, the world's largest burger, or something.
Yeah.
Something like that.
What?
We're gonna dedicate a show to this, folks. We will.
The Santino Morella is like an Italian sub.
Oh, this is terrific. I can't wait. Can't wait for this.
I'm trying to think what else you could call stuff.
I can't wait to go just read the menu and just be able to see what they come up with. And they have to have everything themed WWE. There has to be like every appetizer, every meal has to be. It's got
to be like a maneuver or something.
But what if that person gets like released?
Well, I don't think it's gonna be able to be. It's gonna be if it's gonna be named after wrestlers. It will probably be like Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
Or it'll just be like the Body Slam will be something or whatever.
Yeah.
And you know.
Something. It'd be great. It'd be fun.
Yeah.
I don't see why this is a bad thing, having a restaurant in the Hall of Fame in Orlando. It's close to the Performance Center by Full Sail, so you have WWE employees already down there, so it's not going to be, out in the middle of nowhere. They have to, have to go out and travel and, take care of it. So it's right close to everything, and why not?
Will their hot wings be called Disco Inferno?
Oh, zing. That'd be terrific, but I don't think Vince is going to give any WCW guy props.
Oh, it's too bad.
On his menu. But hey, I'm looking forward to it. Going there next year for Orlando and seeing the restaurant in the Hall of Fame and being part of that. It's going to be one more thing to add for Orlando for Hall of Fame, for that, and the WrestleMania itself with the Disney World, Universal Studios. You're a day trip away from being at the beach. It's a lot of things to do. I'm more excited for Orlando than I am for Dallas right now, just because Orlando is more to do.
Oh man, you ever been to downtown Dallas though?
I have never been to Dallas ever.
Okay, it's a good time.
Yeah. We'll be tweeting drunk pictures out on our Twitter account. I'm sure we'll be doing that.
I'll be with my crew.
We'll be doing that. All right, we're gonna go on an interview part 2 with Tyson Dux here on This Is Awesome Wrestling Show. We had part 1 last week, so if you're just tuning in, make sure to go back to part 1. Eddie Kingston makes the appearance as well, but this is part 2 of our interview with Tyson Dux. This is Awesome Wrestling Show.
I want to go back to. Can't believe I'm saying this. I want to go back to what Eddie Kingston said.
Uh-huh.
And in some minds, including this podcasters, you are one of the most underrated people out there. Obviously, as we've unfortunately touched on, you're not getting younger. But
right, no, God, no. Oof.
But you're still performing at a high level. People are loving your matches.
Yep.
I mean, where do you want to go? Do you see yourself still doing this? Are you training others? I mean, what is it you want to do now with the rest of your career?
Yeah, that's it, because I'm kind of on the, you know what I mean? I'm at that teeter-totter position where I'm right in the middle.
Yeah.
So
I mean, look,
it's either,
AJ Styles finally debuts in WWE. He's 38 years old.
You know what I mean? Thank God. Good. God bless you, AJ Styles.
So,
right?
It's not like...
I did, I was at the NXT tryouts last year.
Okay.
When I was about to turn, I was 35, just turning 36. And they had nothing but high regard, and I got scored points I was good to go. But it's because of my age. Vince is really a stickler now for the whole age thing. Yeah. So I'm just trying not to get injured, right? Of course, like every good pro is, and I'm what I'm trying to do now is just work as many places as I can. And if Global Force calls or TNA calls or ROH or something like that where I can make a bit of a living for a brief amount of time, you know what I mean, a couple of years. You know, I'm not saying 20 years, but if 10 years, 5 years, whatever. That, like, I'm still good. I'm still good with that. Like, that would be great. Do I want to be, like, Dennis Stamp? I don't want to say that. That's terrible to say, but I don't want to be that guy that just sits around the locker room like, hey, you know, I'm booked. You know what I mean? But I don't want to be that guy. You know, I've never wanted to be that guy. I never wanted my whole aspiration, my whole career was to hit the big time, hit WWE, of course, because it was the only time. WCW was just sold when I was
when you were there,
when I was getting there. So I was almost a guy that could work every place because I just missed ECW and I just missed WCW at the time. So I would have worked for every company known to man in the last, you know, in forever, right? Would have been the guy to do it, but you know, it wasn't in the cards. My son, who's 13, I always use him as an excuse. I want to have the best year I can in 2016. I kind of want to have a path. So if he gets into professional wrestling, he's actually going to do something. Like if he might have a clearer path than I did, because I had to do it all on my own, and it's hard. It's very hard.
So
to
if you make that little bit of a name,
right? He's got a little bit of a
He's got a bit of an edge,
right? He's got a little bit of a push.
Sure.
And of course, I'm starting a school this summer up in Canada, like in my neck of the woods. I just moved, so I want to start a school up there and see how that goes. You know what I mean? I know, like William Regal was a huge fan, and he was trying to get a scouting job for me, a Canadian scouting job, which would have been cool.
Yeah,
just
that's
to go to
cool.
Indies, work Indies, and just scout other talent while I was there. But it just never came together because I think Lance Storm is their guy.
Yeah.
So and that's one of those things because I also want to apply for like an NXT trainer job, but I just got to wait for you know what I mean? You got to wait for guys to move out. And that's one of those things. It's a waiting game, right? So I know they know that I want to train. I know they think highly of my work and stuff like that. It's just the guys that are awesome like Brookside and Norman Smiley, those guys, once they start moving out, you know, coming out the other end of it, maybe there'll be a spot. So we'll see. I just I enjoy this business a lot, so I just don't want to give it up. I don't want to give it up on a show level until my body can't let me go at my capacity that I want, that I want to transition to something different, right? But if Masato Tanaka, who's one of my favorites, is still just high gear all the time.
Yeah.
Just doing it.
Right. So what says that I can't, right? So you know, I always look at Masato and say, Masato's still doing it. Masato was taking chair shots and like getting his ass kicked way before me, and he's still doing his thing. So
to the head.
Right? Off the top rope to
Would
the
you,
head.
and I bring this up because, one, I'm a fan. Glenn hates the show. But a fellow AIW roster member, and Matt Cross does Lucha Underground.
Right.
Is that something, and I only bring that up really because you have your son, obviously.
Yep.
You enjoy that time as well. And that's a show that, you know, they tape an entire series over X amount of time.
Right.
You pretty much get to go home. You can work the road if you want.
Yep.
But you get that's kind of thing. Would you be interested in that?
Oh yeah, definitely. I worked with Jeff Cobb already, who just started with last year with Lucha Underground. So I worked with him in Southern Illinois. Great dude, like wicked good worker. You know what I mean? And he's different. He's not a lucha guy. He's just power, sheer power.
They bring in a couple guys here that aren't lucha guys.
Right. Davari's there. Davari is not a lucha man at all. Not at all. So like, there's guys that can post. I'm a guy that's a post. I'm a good hand, as it were. And I know I've never actually watched the product. I've only seen highlights of the product, so I can't comment on the product, but I know the characters are really wicked, like they're really cool, and like the characters.
Yeah.
That's a good idea, and I like the underground aspect of it. Like it's very movie-like,
right?
You know, and like I know Matt Stryker, who's
doing the commentary,
right, and he's done enough to do like a huge down payment, like on his house, like where. That's all I'm looking for, man. If I can get my school going with a nice house and stuff, I just don't want to be the guy that just crippled myself and then have just a apartment building. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I just want to make something out of it.
Lucha Underground is a whole different discussion that we'll
save for a different show because we can get an hour into that. Why I see, I'm more of an old school wrestling guy.
Yeah, same here.
I like telling the story in the ring, not with crazy, wacky scenes that take forever. And hey, I love the high flying act and luchadors, but making it the whole show and then making these wacky, outrageous movie type scenes, it doesn't really. It's like wrestling in a movie. It's nothing that I would find entertaining because I'm more of old school. That you tell the story in the ring, you don't tell the story outside of the ring. So I mean, that's me defending myself when it comes to being told I hate Lucha Underground.
No, it's different strokes for different folks.
Yeah, and the right guys can do it. But
Right.
yeah, again, the only reason we bring it up for Mr. Tyson here is
just
so that he can-
another place to work.
Another place to
and
work.
a different
and the time frame of it. That's what's so unique about it from a performer's standpoint.
Right.
Is you can go in there and you can work X amount of time and go do your thing.
Right.
And you could book off of it then
right.
as well.
And then it's like ridiculous. It's kind of like they're ridiculous, like transition for me, right? Like the styles are so different from what I do, from what they do. But you know what I mean? Like, hey, that's one thing that I'm good at is I can blend. You know what I mean? Maybe that's what I do too much is blend too much. You know what I mean? I can just pick up with anybody else's style. You know what I mean?
But at the same time, you've been able to at least make a living
Right.
off of doing that.
Right. Yeah. I've been jumping around. I've been around a lot, so that's good at least.
There's obviously the big news this week was Daniel Bryan retiring, a guy that's been well known in the indie scene all over the world. Finally gets his call in WWE. You're basically pushed by the fans to be in the main event, WrestleMania, way over, and has to retire because of concussions and injuries. And yourself went through an injury, but you're still wrestling now, way past Daniel Bryan's age. But it's when you see a guy like that, I'm not sure if you worked with him or whatnot, but when you see a guy like that retires at early 30s because of concussions, something you really can't control as a wrestler yourself, is that not, I don't want to say scary, but does make you think like, whoa, like I'm blessed to be still wrestling into my upper 30s, and I'm still healthy.
Right.
I'm still doing what I love. Do you reflect on that when you see a guy like that retire the way he did?
Yeah, you know what, I do, but I think that I look at it from the standpoint that if it would be the final nail in the coffin, it would be the time that says, okay, you're done, right?
Yeah.
More so than I think about the injury, because I can still live, I can still go on, I can do other things, right? I'm not bound by this. I just love this, right? So
Yeah.
maybe I'm a little bit bound to it, but I'm not so bound that this is it for me, right? It's either this or nothing. That being said, like injuries like that, God, like what? But Brian is he's made his living though. He at least you can say that he's fortunate enough to be in the big time, hold that belt, like being pushed to the moon, and he actually made a living and made lots of money. I know it's sad to see him go because he's such a great talent and stuff like that. But instead of always reflecting on the negative side of it, we should really just be happy that a guy that is my size, with not a not a flashy style, like he's more my style,
Right.
That's how he wrestles, and he's made it to the big times and made it to the top. That's super impressive. That will go down, he'll be like a Hall of Fame guy, just on that alone, that the people loved him that much, right?
Yeah.
So instead of being down on it, because there's been a lot of cases where guys were just injured even before they could get out of the gate.
Yeah. Right.
So, and hell of talent that was so good, but you'll never ever know. Like nobody knows, or not nobody knows, but a lot of people don't know who Jimmy V is, or a Reckless Youth. These guys are indie darlings back in the day. These guys were the ones that paved the way for me. And Jimmy V was Jimmy V was now in this era, or if a Reckless Youth was now in this era, it'd be they'd be there, and then they really never got their shot, really. So it just, I guess I'm sad to see him go, because that's brutal, that head trauma and stuff like that, and he's gonna have to deal with that kind of shit for the rest of his life. But on the same note, man, at least he got to the dance. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's go back in time. to some humble beginnings, some fun beginnings.
Oh God.
We'll
That's a
throw
long
out
time ago.
two different things to you.
All right.
And
Throw
then
it down.
you can then tell me what comes to mind.
Okay.
Mai Tai Kid,
Oh my God.
but then I also want to throw out the name Terry Taylor.
Oh shit. There we go.
You go
That-
with those, whichever order you want.
See, that's where Tyson Dux comes from. Is the biggest, when I was a kid, the biggest Jean-Claude Van Damme fan known to man. Jean-Claude Van Damme was my hero. I wanted to be Jean-Claude Van Damme, except I couldn't do the splits. But Frank Dux was the character in Bloodsport, and I had I had two of those VHS tapes. For all you kids, VHS. There's no such thing anymore.
What
I
are
know you
those
download
things?
everything. But it kind of looks like a cassette. Oh, never mind. You wouldn't know what a cassette is either. Oh, you damn kids. But VHS tape, I had two of them and burnt them right out. I wore them right out because I played, I love Bloodsport. I love that movie. So, Muay Thai Kid just came as I loved kickboxing. I did a little bit of karate when I was younger, and that's where my transition was. Because I wasn't super great in sports. I was from the East Coast, so we didn't have football. We didn't have anything. We had hockey, and that was about it.
You guys had hockey in Canada?
That's the only thing we have in Canada.
Wow.
Don't start joking now. That's
It's not
all
even
we
it's
have.
not even your national sport.
Right? Oh, my God. Isn't it curling? I think curling's our
I
sport.
think isn't lacrosse the national sport?
Well,
maybe?
that was
I don't know who
formed by
makes the
natives.
national
Right?
Yeah, Canadian football though up there.
Anyway,
Stop it. Stop talking.
we digress. Back
Right?
to your story.
So, what were we talking about? Like,
The
we got on
Muay Thai
Canadian
Kid.
sport. Oh,
Yeah.
Muay Thai Kid. Yeah. So, kickboxing, boxing, karate is where's my humble beginnings into professional wrestling. So, the guy just that I went to the school was like a jerk, like real, like everybody should be. Like, you go to a school. The guy should be an ass. He should treat you like garbage. He should want to push you out of the business and keep the strong. The strong should survive. The rest should get out. And like, I'm still here after all these years.
You should tell Johnny Gargano that in Cleveland. That
Right.
he needs to be asked.
He's got to be more of an ass. He's got to be more of a terrible human being.
It's like football. You can't treat the kids, all nicely. And you got to weed out the guys that can't make it.
Right. Once you hit high school football, you got to be a complete jerk as a coach. You really
I
do.
agree. Yeah.
You got to be an animal, right?
Yeah.
You got to treat those kids. They should be scared as adults to walk by you. You know what I mean? As you're an old man, like, oh, geez, there's Coach Woo. You know what I mean?
And then the
That's
ones that
what
can
it should
handle
be.
it, they can adapt.
They excel.
And,
excel, and they persevere, and that's what it is. Life is a big, giant callus. If you can handle it and weather the storm, you're better and tougher for it, and you can do way more than the person that's not callous. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but nowadays, it's if you are an ass, with everybody being all sensitive now.
So
it's
sensitive.
You can't say anything bad. You're considered a piece of shit.
These sensitive people, listen, I swear to God, I will cut your throats. I just can't stand sensitive people. Like whining over everything. Like and everybody has a voice now, which I hate. Nobody should have a voice anymore. Like, you know what I mean? The social media gives everybody the chance to express their opinion.
A lot of
And,
uneducated voices.
Well,
too, right?
uneducated. I think most opinions don't count for shit, and then they shouldn't be used anyways, right? Most opinions should be left. Like, my opinions are my opinions and should stay that way. If I want to vent to my wife or my children, they know my opinions.
Yeah.
That's it. If it's Joe Blow down the road, I don't care. I don't care if he even thinks if he likes what I like. I don't care. I don't care if he likes my opinion or not.
Yeah.
So, like, I guess that's a big thing in wrestling too, right? These people have so much power now, media power, because the first thing you do when you're done wrestling is, and I got the habit of it too. I'll go through my phone and see what the social media says. It will crush me for an instant where like someone says, "Oh, Tyson sucks," and then it'll crush me for like a half a second, and I'm like, "Who the hell are you to say I suck? You suck." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just can't. Anyways, where were we there? I don't know where we're going.
Haters going to hate.
Well, we were talking about your kickboxing and
right.
But that's interesting as we go all the way.
Yeah,
back
we
to that
went.
one.
Sorry, we went on a
that's
tangent
okay.
there.
Yeah.
How do you get from that style of background to being so technical with the wrestling? I mean, I guess they're both technical, but you think of martial arts, and you obviously think of kicking, and so then one leads to like super kicks, and
Right.
they want to see you doing more don't want to say flippy shit, but
Right.
more acrobatic, I guess, type stuff. But you're very, again, technically sound.
Right.
So how does that blend into that?
You know what's funny though is because all the flippy stuff in the world, I don't like it, and I respect it. I respect it. I respect the shit out of it, but I don't like it personally. I don't like all the flips. I don't like
an entire match does not need to be all flips.
Right, and like I said again, this is only my opinion, so don't I don't care what you guys not you guys, but people. I don't care what you think. If you think Tyson doesn't do high spots, so because he can't do high spots, Tyson Dux can do high spots, man. He just refuses to do them because I enjoy what I do. I love my style. I love the Arn Andersons, the Rick Rudes, the Steamboats, and these guys. I love Macho Man's, and where it's just like a dusting of high fly, but it's realism.
Yeah. It needs to add to the match,
right,
and be a highlight of the match, not be the match.
I can't.
I agree.
I can't have it that way. I got to be able to wrestle a style because I love when I'm out in a crowd and they've seen a bunch of flippy stuff, and then all it takes with one flippy stuff is something to look hokey, which is going to happen. Someone flips, someone looks hokey, and then people are like, "Oh shit! Well, I know it's fake, but come on, don't. I'm not an idiot. Don't make it look so bad." And then you have me, who will come in and I will chop you, and I will look like I'm hitting you so hard, but I don't. I don't hit anybody hard, but I look like I'm hitting so hard, and then people are like, "Oh, sweet God in heaven!"
You look like you're legitimately winning a street fight,
right?
Like
and
you're legitimately beating someone down,
right? And that's the magic of professional wrestling, and that's what I like to get lost in: the Minoru Suzuki's, the Masato Tanaka's, the Shiozaki Go's. Even Tanahashi. Tanahashi does. Look at Tanahashi's matches, and it's like his big move is a high fly splash, right? High fly flow, but he does no high fly.
Yeah,
that's the only thing he does, and he is still the top draw main event guy there, and like you will never take that away from him. So I don't know. I just personally, like what I do, my style, and I don't want to change it. And I have changed it in the past, and then felt so ashamed. Like I've done something extremely wrong. Like where I've, even here, sometimes at AIW, I've done some matches where I've done some hokey stuff. And I'm like, hokey funny is fine with me. Me and Cabana, funny. But like when it gets hokey, like wrestling, like spot thing, then like I look at it and I'll look at the tape and I'm like, geez, Tyson.
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Just grab a headlock and hold it for a second. You know what I mean? Make the people want to see something, right?
Yeah.
Because all it is psychology.
Yeah.
You really don't need all the crazy stuff. You really don't.
You, coming full circle back here to AIW, you are one half of the tag team champions here at AIW.
You're damn right.
Hot Sauce Entertainment, and you being probably the veteran, and now you are tagged with a young guy that was on WWE.com's top 5 guys to look for.
Nice.
From Evolve.
Did you know that?
No, I did not know.
Yeah.
I don't know anything, guys.
Sorry.
I work so much. God, I don't look at all this stuff. But thanks. That's good.
Yeah.
Good to know. Tracy, you're awesome.
Tracy Williams. How is it working with a guy that has his whole career ahead of him, but also you are the veteran,
right?
Left in the tank, plenty left in the tank, but mixture of that as a tag team, pretty successful.
You're like Miyagi. Still competing with Danielson.
Right? I'm Mr. Miyagi.
Not that old, though.
You really called me Mr. Miyagi. Did you really call me Mr. Miyagi?
I was trying to paint the picture of you being a younger Miyagi
that's a
and being able to team with Danielson.
That's a terrible picture.
That's the best teacher I could think of.
What is wrong with you? Why would you do that?
You don't want to be...
You hurt my feelings.
I'm sorry. I'll think... You answer, and I'll think of a better metaphor.
You better.
I'll think of a better metaphor.
Right? You better.
Okay.
I think it's really cool. I really... He's a great guy. He's a good dude. He's got the whole world ahead of him. Like, he's got his whole career. He's on the cusp of something good. And he's great. And it's kind of nice to be in this role where he's still got rough edges and that I can kind of work with him. And, like, I'll message him from time to time and say, like, next time we got to, like, settle this shit down. You know what I mean? It can't be like that all the time. He's like, I agree. So it's good to have a little bit of input with him in that regard. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I enjoy, and definitely working with him is great. You know, he saved my butt in working. What were they? The CZW guys. Jeez, my head's so bad. The Nation of Intoxication.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I dislocated my knee like in that match. I hit my kneecap hit the apron, and I popped my kneecap out. So, right? So like, he saved my life on that one. So it's just, it's good to have a good, smart kid that like really gets it, and like he doesn't panic, which is wonderful. Like it's like when you have to calm two guys down on the other side, at least you don't have to worry about calming down the guy beside you.
Yeah.
Because it is pro wrestling, right?
Yeah.
If it comes down to it, like we said, just grab a hold. It doesn't. You don't have to panic and hurt each other in that regard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's what But I hope for good things, and I hope when he has a book that he writes a little snippet about me, right? And nothing bad, or I will punch him in the nuts.
Why wouldn't he? You are like the LeBron James to his Kyrie Irving.
Oh wow, there we go. And that's
there you go.
Right? I like it. I don't know anything about basketball though, because I'm Canadian.
Tyson, it's been a pleasure. I'm sure this won't be the only time we'll have you on in 2016.
Right, I'll probably do a run in like Kingston style.
You're welcome
at some
anytime.
point.
Always welcome. And bring coffee next time, will you?
But I will.
You
and
know that you still owe us.
I really do. I really do. And you know what? I will run in, but I will
like
say,
coffee. I don't
"Excuse me, is it okay if I sit and possibly run in on your show?"
And then
You
you
know, I'll make sure
apologize.
it's
You're like,
polite.
I'm so sorry.
Okay, I'm leaving now. Sorry. I'll get you that coffee.
Tyson Dux,
Thanks, guys. It was good.
appreciate it.
Yeah, I had a blast. Thank you, guys.
All their interviews are on ThisIsAwesomeWrestlingShow.com. ThisIsAwesomeWrestlingShow.com is the site. Check it out. Other interviews, shows, news, opinion pieces, links to Steve's Examiner posts are there as well. Takes you straight to Steve's post. All on ThisIsAwesomeWrestlingShow.com. Thanks to Tyson Dux for joining us. We're going to have more interviews next week and the week after. AIW has their show coming up as well, so we'll be there. And we'll be interviewing some top stars at Gauntlet for the Gold.
Big wedding that weekend.
I'm not looking for. I'm okay. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not. I love Dick Justice as a person, and I get the gimmick, but not.
You don't get the.
I'm more excited for a heel to come out and Jock Sampson and see what he does to Dick Justice.
Ruin the wedding. And
I hope Colonel Robert Parker comes too.
Steals another smooch from Missy Hyatt.
I would gladly see that. So. That is AIWrestling.com for more information. Tickets still available, and look for that. They're going to have some great people coming in. Pentagon Jr. from Lucha Underground is going to be here. Also, Zack Sabre Jr. will be here. And he's facing. You're going to have one of Canada's best, and Ethan Page, facing off against one of the UK's best, and Zack Sabre Jr. in a USA, not arena, gymnasium, facing off. So you have Canada's best versus UK's best. Facing off in the USA. So AIWrestling.com is the site to check it out, and get your tickets and more information as well. All right, let's go into WWE. Roadblock is this Saturday on the WWE Network, and they had some build-up. Also had a pleasant return of Sami Zayn returning.
Saving Neville.
Saving Neville, going out to Kevin Owens. I'm excited for that. I'm not a huge Sami Zayn mark. I'm not
either. I still think that WWE, if they really wanted to bring him in, dropped the ball and not letting him be El Generico.
Yeah.
Which I think was great. So maybe that's why I'm not into it as much. And man, I think it's that music.
I don't like the music.
That music hits, and I'm just like, am I at a Real Big Fish concert?
Or like the psychedelic, like Titantron.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan. It just seems like he's like.
And at this point, all I think about is last time when he came out against John Cena, and he got so excited he threw his shoulder out.
Yeah. He looks like a guy. He has a beard, okay, but he's so white, and he has the long pants and everything. It just looks like you started a game on WWE 2K16, and that's the character they gave you to start out. Like, is it El Generic? Yeah, he's generic. It looks so generic. I just can't get behind it. He's a great wrestler. Don't get me started. Sorry about that, but I just can't get behind Sami Zayn just yet. I'm all for Owens versus Zayn. It's going to be like a huge, ladder match for the title. It's going to be a lot more guys involved. They're going to save Zayn and Owens for later down the road. But hey, I'm all for making the universe happy and some pleasant surprises and seeing Zayn come back from injury is a good story.
Yeah, I mean, the backstory of Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens is great, but outside of that, I don't know what what stock am I supposed to put into Sami Zayn from an emotional standpoint? If he's not wrestling somebody other, if he's not wrestling Kevin Owens, why am I supposed to be behind Sami Zayn and really be into the character of Sami Zayn? I agree.
Also, we saw Jericho turn on AJ Styles. We talked about this last week about how I like Jericho and Styles teaming together. You didn't like it, but now they have turned. Jericho has turned on Styles, which more than likely will lead to a Jericho versus Styles match at WrestleMania. And not even talking about that because it's still early. The match hasn't been announced yet. But, geez, talk about AJ Styles. The springboard into Kofi Kingston into basically a reverse DDT.
Yeah,
off the rope, so smooth. And for him to do that with someone like Kofi, which he hasn't worked with before that much, the timing was it was incredible. And then he did a 450 off the top of a. I think he did a it was a 450.
I think so. That
off
sounds right to me.
The springboard 450. Just incredible. Landed perfectly. Styles is. I'm excited for Styles for the future, but right now, a Jericho WrestleMania match is the right thing. Like I said last week, Jericho is a veteran. They can put on a great match, get past it, and then Styles can go to what he's going to be doing for SummerSlam.
Yeah, that springboard move is sweet, man. I mean, he used to do that all the time. I'd love watching that in TNA. Yeah. It's very innovative. You don't see a lot of guys doing it. You're right. I mean, kudos to the guy he's got to do that with. But he did it with Jericho at Fastlane, and I think he did it in the Royal Rumble. I don't remember, but the one thing that I like, I guess, about Jericho turning on Styles was that my point last week was, I want to see more of AJ Styles going one-on-one with people. And so if this gives us that, awesome. I'm all for it.
Yeah.
That tag match, though, last night, I thought they did a great job of showcasing everything that he could really, not everything, obviously, but a lot of what he could do. And what Jericho could do, too, really. I thought, in general, that tag match, as I look back at it, was like, oh, all right, these guys, this is one of the better ones where they really pushed everything out and showcased it.
Yeah, Styles was very well. Jericho can still go. And then they featured, Kofi and Big E. And
the difference of Big E doing to grab the big ending?
Oh, dude, that was tricep meat all day.
That was awesome. And you know what else I thought was really unique and different, something you don't see all the time, but was like at least from a storytelling standpoint, Jericho basically bull rushing Kofi to break up the account. Because, usually you see, all right, Jericho's going to try to get in the ring, Kofi's going to beat him down, they win, but, basically shoves him over the guys.
Yeah.
And you watch something like that, and that's something in your mind as a fan, you're watching, like, why wouldn't you just shove him over and just tackle everybody? It's like, oh, okay, they did it. There was a realistic standpoint to that.
A lot of good, near falls, the heels did their thing, pulling guys out of the ring. You had Xavier trying to help Kofi out of the walls of Jericho, and Big E comes. So I think it was perfect. Timing was everything, and probably one of the best matches, if not the best match of the night. But I'm all for Jericho and Styles going at it again. Fastlane was great, and WrestleMania, I'm sure they'll put on a great show if they're featured one-on-one. Other things happening on Raw really quick. We have Ambrose going against Triple H. And Michael Cole kind of teased us a little bit, saying, hey, if Ambrose wins, that could be a triple threat match. Or if Triple H wins, something could happen at WrestleMania be a triple threat. Could we see maybe a disqualification and having Ambrose plugged into that main event, Triple H versus Ambrose versus Reigns? Are we really going to see Reigns versus Triple H one-on-one, or are we going to have some kind of swerve?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think a swerve's going to happen.
I think so, but then what do you do with Brock Lesnar? At this point, I'm kind of excited about the Brock Lesnar-Dean Ambrose match.
Dude, I would not be upset if it was a fatal four-way.
No, that would be pretty cool, too. That would be cool.
I think more the merrier.
Unless you just continue down this Lesnar-Bray Wyatt thing they're doing for Roadblock. I don't know.
And what about your boy at the end, Bray Wyatt, the little tease at the end, brushing his hands against the title and then walking out?
You saw that too, huh?
What does that mean, too?
Him and Triple H getting in each other's face.
What about that?
Man, that was something else right there.
Bray has no match for WrestleMania as of right now, too.
Right.
So what is?
Oh, so now you want to put 5 guys in that match?
Okay, I would not be. No, seriously, I would not be opposed to a 6-man scramble match.
I think the title. Who's your 6th guy?
I would say. I mean,
because we said Triple H, Brock Lesnar, Ambrose, Reigns, Bray Wyatt. That's 5. We just go 5, or we throw
5,
6 guys.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm talking about a 5-pack minus 1 because Stone Cold drank it. Because 5 guys, I think, adds more element of surprise. It's
we gotta have fries if you're gonna have 5 guys.
Yeah.
And burgers.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm more excited about a 5-guy main event than Reigns versus Triple H.
You know, it'd be sweet, but I think it takes them entirely too long to build it.
Mm-hmm.
Is if you had the I can't think of it. Not the Hell in the Cell with the pods.
Oh,
the chamber.
Yeah.
If you had the chamber at WrestleMania as the main event, how cool would that be?
That would be terrific.
That would be slick. That's probably not going to happen. We're probably going to end up with Reigns and Triple H
because they already have Hell in the Cell hanging from the roof.
Well, you can't hang the chamber. You've got to put that together. So I think that's just too large of a thing to put together.
No, they have to hang it from the ceiling.
Does it hang?
Yeah, they don't put it together. That comes right down over the ring.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, dude, that would take forever to be put together on the spot. No.
Yeah.
Hell in the Cell is already going to be up there, like inside the scoreboard, and it's going to be lowered.
They should just lower. Fine, put 5 guys in the cell. I don't care.
They can't do Hell in the Cell now because you have Shane versus Undertaker.
That's already there. Whatever.
So I would not be opposed. I don't think are we going to really see a one-on-one match for the main event?
Yeah,
are we
I
see
think
all
we
these
are
guys?
because I think we're going to see Ambrose and Lesnar, right? Or I don't know. Unless Bray Wyatt gets thrown in there as the triple threat. Would you take a triple threat? Triple H, Reigns, and Wyatt?
No.
I don't know.
More the merrier. The more the merrier. Put everybody in there. Make it a 25-man.
Just do like you do for the EIC championship match.
Yes, make it a 10-man ladder match.
Or maybe throw Ziggler in there as the 6th guy, because they, touted the whole Survivor Series thing there.
Put Ziggler in there. Put Miz in there. Put Cleveland in there.
Or Sheamus, I guess, could
throw
be
Johnny Gargano in there. Come on,
absolutely. Why
everybody.
not?
Let's throw everybody.
Can't forget about the Big Show.
100-man elimination chamber match.
There's not enough pods.
Make 100 pods.
Not enough pods.
Pods on pods.
You only need 98 pods because the 2 guys start the match.
Pods on pods. There
pods on pods on pods.
There you go. That'd be one. That would be awesome. That would be amazing. That should go on forever.
Hey, what was up with Triple H? Was he on? I forget. Was he on Raw earlier in the night? At all?
I don't think
when Ambrose was talking.
I don't think so.
Because remember, he showed up and his tie is just undone, and he's got this Saturday Night Fever collar action going.
Long night working, man, working behind the scenes.
Yeah, I guess. I was like,
night.
what are you so undone? Like you're unkempt already.
It's the end of the night, man. Loosen the tie.
Yeah,
he's going Vinnie Mac style.
I guess so.
Yeah,
I like that they let Ambrose hit the dirty deeds on him, though.
Yeah. Oh, amazing sell by Triple H too.
Yeah.
Did it move?
Listen, I've had a lot of issues with Triple H, but I've always said he is one of the best at selling.
Yes, he's
always has been.
And it's funny because you see that Triple H was down. He was not moving for the rest of the show.
Yeah.
But AJ Styles, 3 code-breakers, it took 3 code-breakers to take him down.
Over and over and over.
Over and over and over. But Triple H, one simple DDT, and he's done. He's done for the night.
There's a difference between your head going into the mat and your face bouncing off of some knees.
All right.
That's why our boy Kaplan is still with us today.
Can we test that theory out? Would you rather be planted off a pair of sharp knees or on the floor?
Your head right into the ground?
Let's ask Frankie Flynn that. We'll do some testing.
Oh, you could just ask Kaplan because his head went off of a man's body as opposed to the mat.
I'm not going to give any love for that at all.
No, there's no love for that.
Botchamania.
I'm happy. My love is that he's survived and is walking.
There you go. So yeah, Raw was nice. I did love the Taker tease with Vince coming out.
That was great.
Vince was creeping out.
That was good.
I wish they would have kept the camera on Vince the whole time when he was, doing his strut and creeping out from the corner.
Good for them.
Terrific.
You know what? I will say this is the one time. What I liked about Shane's promo is that it still went off of the last time he was there.
Yeah.
Talked about this is what's been going wrong with WWE, and it's kind of like they've said it about themselves. Like, oh yeah, like last time they talked about, yep, ratings are bad, and yep, we are losing money or whatever, or stock's down. And this time too, he was like, guys aren't getting the push that they should get. It's like Shane is coming in. He's like the fan savior, right? And so this was the one episode. Of course, they are in Chicago, but the way he was talking, this was the one time where I was okay with people chanting CM Punk, because what he was saying was kind of evoking that mindset, right, that we got from CM Punk initially, and just like bringing all of that back to the forefront. And it's kind of like what he was saying was like, yeah, remember that guy? So
yeah,
I was usually I hate the CM Punk chants, but the way they went about this, how do you not make people think of a CM Punk?
I don't get the CM Punk chance because it's not like when he was champion, the ratings were good anyway. The ratings were bad too.
Yeah.
He wasn't like he's a savior of WWE.
No, but just from the story standpoint of him being like an underdog guy. And they're in Chicago. Of course they're going to chant CM Punk. Ryback, you idiot.
Yeah, Ryback doing the go-to-sleep gesture, and he's been doing his knees. CM Punk's
He's been
knees.
doing that for a little bit.
Yeah, he's
to show he's agile.
I'm going to steal it from CM Punk. And then you have also happening on Raw was you had the Divas that progressing into what they're going to do at WrestleMania. But really, other than that, really nothing spectacular happening on Raw. But other than Bray Wyatt brushing his hand against the title, so we'll see what happens with that. But I'm looking forward to see what happens. Any swerves happening in the next few weeks before WrestleMania takes off. The Big Boss Man inducted into the Hall of Fame, well deserved for him, and he will be inducted. Do you prefer CO Boss Man, or do you prefer SWAT Team Boss Man?
I love me that blue shirt from Cobb County, man.
Half open.
Yeah.
Hamburger meat hanging out.
I grew up on that Big Boss Man.
I'm a fan of SWAT Team Boss Man with the ski mask looking thing.
He was more of a badass as that Boss Man.
I love that Boss Man.
That was the evil Big Boss Man. Although he was a bad guy when he first comes in, but there's just something about old school Boss Man.
Yeah, I loved it. So kudos to WB for doing that and putting Boss Man into the Hall of Fame. Really quick, also, Shane's punches. Awful.
Yeah, they were supposed to be like little quick ones, but I didn't
terrible
like that either.
And they're trying to build him up as some guy. He's a madman. He's a madman.
Yeah.
4 guys at once. Those punches
he was
are
like
weak.
throwing the punches downward as if he was like in UFC on top of the guy.
He was trying to do the quick, quick jabs, but this wasn't working.
And I thought maybe that's what he used to do, but then I watched him like, nah. I watched right after, like they had showed some clips of Shane. I was watching closely, like, nah, he extended on the punches before.
Yeah.
I don't know what this. I think this was supposed to be more like these are mixed martial art punches to go with the knees and
different.
But they didn't look good.
A feisty.
And I love Shane, obviously.
Oh yeah, but
yeah,
you gotta make those punches a little more believable.
Speaking of Shane McMahon and matches that he had, because they showed the Kurt Angle match with him getting thrown into the glass, King of the Ring. And so we're recording on a Tuesday. Tonight airs the final match on TNA of Kurt Angle's career.
Well, TNA to career.
Right. In kayfabe world, in general, right? This is supposed to be his ride off to the sunset. Yeah. We'll see if he comes into WWE. But Bobby Lashley, and so this will hit probably obviously after tonight. Bobby Lashley wins and then attacks Kurt Angle. Mm-hmm. So this was probably nice. I mean, but just right from there, it's Kurt Angle's last match. You think he should win or lose?
I mean, it's not his last match.
In TNA, though, let's say. But this is his farewell tour.
No, I mean...
this is what they've built it as in TNA. They've built this whole thing up as his farewell tour, his retiring.
That's too predictable if they have the guy retiring win.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Because then it's like, if you can keep winning, you should stay, right?
Who wins the retirement match?
It's different.
When it's billed as your last match, who wins? Ric Flair lost.
Yeah. But that's like
Terry Funk lost with Bret Hart.
It's different because that's the retirement on the line, whereas this is like it's already been known, and these matches are just all exhibitions.
Yeah, but we're talking about kayfabe. We're talking about what we know.
Yeah, you're right. Well, yeah, because I guess if you think about it, it's like, if you could keep winning, then you should stick around. Why would you leave if you keep winning? But then Bobby Lashley attacks him, and then all the faces come out. Drew Galloway comes to his rescue. Lashley takes him out. One of the Wolves comes out, and your boy, our only 3-time guest of the show, aside from Eddie Kingston, who's a co-host, different kind of story. EC3 comes out to save the day.
There you go.
Comes out to aid Kurt Angle. That's the ultimate passing of the torch if you're an EC3, right? In terms of becoming a babyface for that company.
Speaking of TNA,
yeah,
Hulk Hogan, a little rip on TNA.
Did he in the thing?
Yeah.
What did he say?
They're talking about working for TNA, and they're like, "What's TNA?" He goes, "Oh, they're a small company."
Oh man,
ripping on TNA a little bit.
Oh wow.
I don't like EC3 as a good guy. I don't like it.
You don't like it?
And I don't like Shane as a good guy either. Okay, here's the thing. I love Shane.
Yeah.
I'm with you. And I didn't mark out, but I'm still excited to see Shane back. We wanted to see Shane back. But I prefer, like I was watching that montage where the same one all of it is him being a bad guy.
So
most of what Shane McMahon, I remember, is the bad Shane McMahon, leader of the Ministry of Darkness when Vince was, going against him. The bad Shane, like he was with Vince when he faced off against HBK when he was doing the whole God thing, and Shane was the bad guy with Vince. Right. I prefer the bad guy Shane.
His match with the Big Show though was face Shane,
but I prefer the promos of an evil, spoiled brat Shane McMahon.
Mean Street Posse Shane McMahon.
Yes. So that's why I kind of it's because I prefer Shane as a heel. I prefer EC3 as a heel. There's just some guys that I don't like seeing as a good guy. Jericho is a heel to me always.
Far, EC3 though has been like that. He hasn't embraced necessarily being a face.
Mm-hmm.
He's just like the anti-hero role.
Yeah, but
which is fun.
But
it remains to be seen.
He's not as heelish.
Yeah, it's funny that you compare those two because when you think about it. Obviously, as competitors and what they can do, you look at EC3 as always having been more athletic than what we saw Shane do because he's just always been a wrestler. But the character standpoint, it's funny that you bring that up because you have Shane, who's the spoiled brat, right? He's the son of Vince McMahon, and then EC3 being the nephew of the owner, Dixie Carter. That whole family spoiled brat mentality. Yeah. You're right, and they kind of rise from the same thing. But I think that's the evolution of both of those characters. Is that over time, fans just start liking and appreciating what they're doing inside the ring. It's almost like, where do you go from there?
I just prefer a bad guy. I just like bad guys in general, but I prefer a Shane that's obviously he's not a spoiled brat anymore, but.
No,
him. It's. I liked it when he faced off against the Big Show and or even the Rock, the Croc, and against X-Punk.
Yeah.
Wear the jersey, always wearing the jersey.
He was the European champion.
Yeah, he was the European, and then he when he faced Big Show, which way did he go? Which way did he go?
Yeah.
I like that kind of stuff from him. Not this, I am, a civilized 48-year-old
Well, he can still bring out the smart-ass stuff with his dad. Yeah. Because I feel like the whole Vince going in for the hug and Shane would be like, no, that's not going to happen. That's a whole other element. I mean, I loved that. I thought that was great.
But I prefer, just like I prefer Vince being a heel. I don't like the good guy Vince we've seen in previous years.
Yeah.
I prefer bad guy Vince. He plays it perfectly. And then I prefer bad guy Shane, but, someone has to be
what makes it tough is that you have bad guy Vince and Stephanie is a fantastic heel.
I understand why, but if I had to choose, that's why I'm not as excited as I am. It's because Shane's a good guy coming back.
Yeah, I think that Shane is excellent with his promos, like the things that he does from that standpoint. Just character-wise, I always think that Shane McMahon, whatever role he needs to be in, he does a great job with it. And so Stephanie is so evil that I still enjoy this Shane McMahon because I love somebody bringing her back down to earth, right, and combating that. Yeah. And I don't think there probably isn't anybody better that could have done it. We've tried to see John Cena do that with them, and it's just something missing. You have to have this family element there.
Yeah,
I think it's sweet. But you always got to have an amazing. To your point, if you're going to do that with either character, EC3 or Shane in WWE, you got to have like some amazing heel off of it. I think Matt Hardy's doing a solid job in TNA of it, but I think he's more annoying than anything.
It's played out.
Yeah,
we've seen it. Matt Hardy is not a main eventer.
And I think that's the problem is because EC3 is such a great heel.
Yeah,
that whoever he is now going to be a face up against. They're not going to be as good of a heel as he was.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I agree.
So I think that's probably why we prefer the heel standpoint.
All right.
We got some listeners out there.
I'm not going to say it on the air. Definitely not going to say it on the air. All right. This is AwesomeWrestlingShow.com is the website. Check us out, TIA Wrestling on Twitter and Instagram. Also, Facebook. Look us up. And like I said, our website has news stories posted, some videos. All their interviews are up there as well. So check it out right now. This is AwesomeWrestlingShow.com. Also, iTunes, Stitcher, the podcast store on Android. So anywhere you get your podcasts, we are there. This is AwesomeWrestlingShow.com. Be sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment for us. Leave a rating. It helps with our rankings on iTunes as well. So Tyson Dux, thanks for coming on the show. Our 2-part interview. We'll have more interviews this month with plenty of AIW stars and wrestling stars coming through the Cleveland area. AIWrestling.com for the shows for them. A lot of shows in the next couple of months for them. So a lot of wrestling here in Cleveland coming up as well. So this is AwesomeWrestlingShow.com. We'll talk to you guys next week. See ya.